friends, welcome back. My name is Laura. You found Laladi Stitches, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. Today's episode is a quilting bee, long awaited, about 2 months overdue. It's been almost 5 months since we last chatted quilty goodness. So yeah, I have lots. This is quite the episode. I have finishes. I have fully finishes, if we want to define them that way. I have whips to share. I've got a couple new things that are started. I have plans for new things to start as the year goes on. Towers of goodness. So we're not going to waste any time. I might have to adjust the camera a little bit when we get to some of in this first little bit, just so I have space. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, have you been well? I hope so. I planned to film tomorrow, but we have an April Fool's joke happening one day later. It's snowing. It was a beautiful morning as the sun rose, cloudy, but you could see patches of blue, and then pretty quickly it got very dark, and we had an epic thunderstorm with hail and torrential rain and the darkest clouds in the land. And within half an hour, that turned into snow. And it has continued to snow all day. The roofs are covered with snow. The grass is covered with snow. All of our poor cherry blossoms are drooping. And I'm sure tomorrow will be gorgeous and sunny, and it will have never happened. But snow day. Here we are. Surprise, surprise. You know, wasn't it a week ago it was 80 degrees? I don't know. Mother Nature does not know what's going on, especially in Utah. It's just a surprise every day. So, because of that, we're just going to film. We're going to film. Because why not? I've got my stacks ready. So, here we go. So the first things, we're going to jump into the finishes first. I have 2 quilts that are quilted, ready to show. We're going to scoot over the chair so it's out of the way. Whoops, you're okay, Grace. So the first one is a quilt I called Winter Sky. And I have intentionally not pulled the, I have not pulled the pattern out because it is a challenge, this pattern. This pattern is poorly written, and as much as I love the results and may one day do another one because it did turn out gorgeous, I just can't recommend it. So if you're curious, head back into the archives. All the information is there, as well as some gripe sessions about the pattern. But the concept for this was a winter sky. So, you know, that beautiful pinky purple sunset or sunrise, typically more sunset, but with the iciness underneath it, right? And I have it all quilted, and it's been used for a couple of months. I quilted it in January, and so we'll show it up close. I just did a wandering stipple because I was doing this on my 350. Big news. I feel like we should have like the Wicked choir come in. Big news. My big machine, my 880, is home and functional, and we're thrilled, and we might get into that saga later. But I did quilt this on my 350, my small little machine. And it's a pretty big quilt, and I'll back up so you can see as much of it as you can in just a second. But here's some close-ups. I really love how it turned out, and because we've already used it, I used it all winter. Here's my backing, which is a batik. It's a gorgeous, the whole quilt is done out of batiks. But this is, oopsie. Oh heavens, I can't think of the word. Anyways, it's gorgeous. This came from my grandmother's collection, so it feels really special to have it. She hoarded it for many years, I think. And so it was a nice big piece, and it made the perfect backing. And it's soft already. Okay, so let me back up and show as much of it as I can, because it's big. And there's always a bit of an adventure. Ugh. Oh, and I stepped on a dog toy. It's all good, Grace. Okay, I'm going up. So it kind of has you can see it kind of fades. Again, the idea was that sunset from pink to purple and blue. I do have to say I'm partial to the purple and blue corner. Ugh. There we go. That's pretty good. I'm gonna get my shoulder workout in. Anyways, I love it. It's so beautiful. The piano key border is one of the first fancy borders I ever did. And this one has the little extra squares, but it's still overall piano key. And so I feel fondness, extra fondness to it since it is, I don't know, it just takes me back to my roots, I guess. The first big quilt I ever did had a piano key on it. I don't have that quilt anymore. I had a dog about 20 years ago, almost already. Time goes fast, doesn't it? And he had massive amounts of anxiety. Like, he makes Grace look like the chillest dog in the land. And one time when I was gone, I'd had my quilt folded at the end of the bed, and he chewed a hole through the center of it, like this big, because it was folded, so it was through all of the layers. It was disastrous. And I held on to it for years thinking, okay, well, I could go in and, you know, put things back together, patch in a new section, and I just never did. And then we had the flood, and it was extra damaged. So anyways, that's a little side story. But this is Winter Sky, and it's all done, and I'm just tickled with it. It's so nice. Okay, where do I put these? I guess they're not gonna get hurt sitting on the floor. Okay. This next one is a big one. It is called Baker's Dozen. The designer is Jen Kingwell. And here is her version of it. I did mine in 1800s reproductions because those are my husband's favorites, and this was his Christmas present, which last time we met was nestled safely under the tree. So now I can share it, and it's exciting. This one, I am very proud of this one. Oh, watch out. Sorry, Grace. Everything keeps falling on you. Sorry, baby. It's okay. This one took about 2 years. About 2 years to make. And definitely got a focused effort in the last half of last year. And I think the best way is to just start far away, and we'll come back in and talk about the quilting. So let me climb a mountain. This is a very solid chair, no worries. Huh? See if I can get it. Oh my goodness. I just adore it, you guys. I'm like stupid proud. I remember when I had the center done, I was thinking, okay, it's gonna be fine. And then I got the next round done with all those different stars, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. And then I didn't know how it was all gonna look together until I had all the rest of the blocks done, and they all kind of went on went together in one big push, and I got the top done and I just about cried. I was so happy. Because it's so big and fancy and wonderful, I did do my favorite, I'm trying to think of, it has flannel on the back, and we definitely ran out of, despite buying 2 spools of the variegated thread that I wanted to use, I still ran out because I did denser stitching. It's kind of a, see if it'll show, kind of a feathery, my husband really likes paisleys, and I didn't go so far as quilting a paisley, but I did do, this feather design is one of my favorites, and it feels fancy. So that's what I did, and I took, was it 1 day, 2 days? I think it was 1 day. Really long day of quilting on my 350, which is not impossible. Clearly, I can do it. And I've done it before, but I had forgotten what a physical endeavor that is to quilt, especially with the flannel, because it's heavier than even the last one. The last one's a bigger quilt, but I would say it is lighter than this one because of the flannel. It's just soft. But my husband loves soft blankets, and I knew that to get him to use this instead of a fuzzy blanket or something, I had to do something that would make it cozy, and it totally worked, because up until, I mean, even now, if it's cool in the room, he'll pull it out, but especially through January and February, which despite no snow were cooler than like last week. Anyways, he was using it regularly, and it just makes me so happy every time he pulls it out or off the back of his chair. And yeah, I think it will be well loved. I'm so proud of it. Oh, it's covered in dog hair because Grace leaves glitter everywhere she goes. Yes. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring these over in a stack because it might be easier than everything sliding onto the dog. You're a good girl. Chew your bone. Okay, so this next one, I don't know if you'll remember, but it's my 100 Modern Quilt Blocks by Tula Pink. And I don't remember when I started this. I feel like I started this in Snohomish, so it's at least 2 years ago. Fabulous rainbow colors. I probably don't need to show you this, but I don't quite have the border on yet. So I did this layout. I've got the chromatic rainbow, which you'll see in a second. And I had kind of come to a full stop. I feel like I finished the blocks early last year. Here are my fabrics. And then I really wanted to be able to purchase background fabric, so the sashings and the borders. But that just didn't happen. And finally, mid-January, I was like, I want this done. I want to do this. I want this done. So I went digging and I found one fabric that had enough to do the sashing. I do not have enough of it to do the border. So it does not have that final outer border yet. And we're playing with ideas. But the center is assembled. So we're going to look at it. Because it's basically done. Once I find a fabric that's good, it's going to take 10 minutes. Okay, maybe half an hour. But, oh my gosh, it is joyful. Bright rainbows are always joyful. Okay, let me get tall. Woo! I don't make very many small quilts because my husband is tall and I like to wrap up like a butterfly in a cocoon in blankets, so we don't do a lot of smaller ones. So So it starts out red and fades through the rainbow down to the purples. Oh, I love it. Sorry. It's so pretty. Okay. The piecing on this one is easy, but a little funky because a lot of the times with sashings, you'll have a cornerstone, so it's really easy to get those corners to match up. When you have them floating like this with long strips in between, you have to be careful, or mindful rather, of trying to align your top corners with where, if there were a square there, where those would be. And to do that, I sewed the one side on, and then when I was pinning, I would kind of pinch my sashing like this and hold them next to each other so I could see that's approximately in the right direction, in the right spot, and I think we did pretty good. If you don't match up like that, you wind up with cattywampus stairs, and I really wanted to float as much as possible directly over the neighboring blocks, so I think it went pretty well. And experienced quilters will probably find that redundant, but not everybody knows, right? Everybody's at a different place in their quilty experience. And I certainly wouldn't have known in my early days how to get them close. So, and if it's not exact, give yourself a little grace because quilting hides a lot. And nobody will know, right? From a distance. Oh my gosh, this quilt is so fun to look at because it has all the Tula fabrics and the fussy cut little images. Ugh. Such fun. It's getting a little wrinkly dinkly with my messing with it, but oh boy, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, excuse me. I wasn't sure what was going to happen for a second. Oh, we're upside down now. Anyways, I am tickled. I think it is delightful and fun. I did pull this out, and I might have enough if I do a really narrow outer border. Which could be enough. It just needs to float, right? It doesn't have to be anything. But I don't know. I'm undecided, and I did find a few yards of Pinkerton. So that will be a large portion of the backing here because he's fabulous. What a handsome unicorn. Oh, it's going to be so good. And I have lots of Tula left over because really you collect all this fabric and then you use little scraps out of it, right? For something like this. So I have lots left over, and I'm considering some kind of like center portion that's stripes in the rainbow along the back. What is that? It looks like a spider. It's just a fuzz. In between, you know, panels of Pinkerton or something like that. That'll be super fun. Anyways, so close, so close. Next time you see it, it'll be quilted. But I've got to decide on a border. So we'll see what happens. It's got to be bright and clean though. I had one that I actually had enough fabric of, but it was a little too creamy. This is very white, so for the background. So we've got to match that so it keeps floating. Anyways, yay! Okay, next. This one, you didn't actually get to see me work on. I planned on that. I planned on you seeing more of it, but you know, I just disappeared off the face of the earth for a few months. So this is Stagecoach from Bear Hill Quilts. It is a really well-written pattern, easy to follow. They give you options for super scrappy or for a more limited colorway. And I did find it helpful. See if I can show you without like giving you the instructions. So you'll see it'll say like multicolor version, so scrappy, or limited color version. I found it helpful to X out the version I wasn't using. Just with a highlighter I can still read it. I mean, it's a digital pattern, I can print it out again anyways, but that helped me continue to read the right spot as I was going through. This is my color palette because it's a Valentine Stagecoach. And yeah, I have the top done. This one was so fun. It was really hard to stop working on it. So now I just have to get it quilted before January. And it's gonna be awesome. Okay, gotta climb a mountain. Ugh. All right. Oh, this one's so pretty. I just adore how this one turned out. Where's the top? There is a top. I think it was this one. Yeah, it has the number on it. Okay, not that it matters, but some of the prints are more directional. Fabulous! Oh my gosh, I just love it. With that chain running through everything, I love a good Irish chain. In fact, I have a triple Irish chain in my future at some point. I just have to settle on what I want it to be. But I love a chain through blocks. So good. Then if we come a little closer, let me protect our seams here. It's just the cutest Valentine's Day extravaganza with a little bit of Alice in Wonderland. We'll go up row by row here. And I thought about fussy cutting him, right? The Cheshire Cat here, so he would be in the center of every block. But then I thought, maybe I'll just let it be a little bit more random because he kind of fades in and out, right? He shows up when he wants to. And so some of the blocks he's not in. Some of the blocks he's like fairly centered. And other parts he's just like peeking. And I think that's really cute. He just like plays into the Cheshire Cat style. Or lore, or I don't know how you'd say it. See, he's not even in. There's his little bum in this one. I have some are batiks, a lot of prints, light to low volume, backgrounds, super scrappy. Some of these Valentine's Day prints I've been moving around the country for decades, and I finally made like this one. This one I've had for probably at least 15 years. I've just never done a Valentine's Day quilt. But I've been so into that pink and purple kind of vibe for the last year-ish that I was like, okay, this is the moment. I'm just going to embrace it and we're going to make it happen. And so cute. So cute. So happy. I love it. I will totally make this quilt again. This was a great pattern, and I could see this in browns and greens or, you know, blues. It would be just gorgeous in just about anything you do it in. I don't think you could mess up the palette on that one. Okay, last but not least, in my big finishes. Oh my goodness. This is a big one. This is a big one. So this one is called Brilliant Stars. It is from American Patchwork and Quilting. Oops, I'm showing pattern. October 2015. And it's based off of a vintage quilt, as you can see. And my palette is a bit reimagined. So this was my inspiration page for colors, and then these are the fabrics I found. And I've been working on it. I've worked on it pretty steadily through last summer, and then I think I got all of the blocks done but the one, and then I found that I had miscounted somewhere in the universe, and I had to get that one final block done, and I couldn't fudge it because even though you cut half of the blocks off to square off the quilt, which I considered reconfiguring so you don't have to do that, but that's okay. We're going with it, and I have other ideas for those pieces. Anyways, even though you cut half of them off, there was no good way to... Anyways, you just had to make another block. You had to make another block, so... La 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 la. As soon as I had the blocks done, I could not stop myself from finishing it because I was so excited. Climb a mountain. This is my second favorite finish, or third favorite, after Wensleydale last year and Baker's Dozen. But Baker's Dozen wasn't for me. Wensleydale and this one are like me vibes, right? Oh my gosh. I don't know how to show. You can see I have not cut off. I have not squared it off yet. I won't until I'm ready to quilt it. Let's see. If I hold half of this here, there we go. Ugh. I can't be tall enough. I'm not tall enough. Each star burst is different, though they sometimes reuse a fabric. You can see like this print is the same as this dark circle in there. But every star is different. Just like the snowflakes falling outside my windows right now. I mean, isn't she glorious? Oh, just love it so much. I love it. I love it so much. Still got strings and things. This is one I laid out. It was kind of a funky layout. Well, I thought it was going to be a funkier layout because I wanted it to be perfect. But the more blocks I laid out on my bed, the more I realized it was just let it happen as they fell. And I really only shifted 1 or 2 blocks before I said, all right, that's it. We're just gonna let it be. This one was such a good learning experience. Oh my goodness, strings everywhere. I feel like I'm fairly proficient at squares and half square triangles and you know what you can do with those. But I'd never done, it's basically the same style as you would do for a Lone Star, right? These kind of diamond shapes. And you assemble them in rows, and then piecing the rows together is a funky, I have never ripped out so much because the points were not matching up, and it's this funky little, you have to put them just past where you think they need to be. You have to offset them, or they don't line up. They don't nest together like squares do. And and it went the same for the final block assembly too, putting the top together, because you have these triangles coming in, and some of my points are really good and some of my points really are not, but it's all in the background fabric, so it's pretty forgiving. And I just wound up getting to a point where I let it go, because I really like my points to match, but 3 strikes, you're out. I'm not going to stress or lose joy in the process, because like on this one, well, that one's not bad actually, never mind, not that one. Okay, where's the bad one? There's some really bad ones. Okay, here's one. Those points, this point right here and that point right there, should nest together. But to do that would distort how the block's laid. So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons those happen. Seam allowances, inaccuracies in piecing, inaccuracies in cutting, you know, a lot of things go into it. And anyways, did the best I could, and it's gorgeous, and it's done. So I need to find the perfect backing. I may even go traditional and just do a solid cream backing. I'm not sure I have enough, but I know I have at least a few yards. Oh my gosh, it's so crooked. Oh well. Yeah, something simple, keep it light and airy. And I can see this getting quilted sooner than later, because I want it out. I love it so much. Okay, we don't need that. That's an old quilt. All right, so those are the big ones. It's a lot. That is 5, because then I have one small one. Now I get to sit for a little while, just chill. So this one I've been trying to do, or I was going to try to do tiny quilts every month, and that has been hit and miss. I kitted one, and I even cut it out, but then I didn't do any of the piecing. And then, I tried to get the next one going and could not find fabric I liked. So I pulled an entirely different pattern out, and that is this one, which is an oopsie. I'm just dropping things everywhere. This is an older pattern from 1995. Kim Halverson, Spring in the Valley. And this is done with foundation paper piecing. So I used the Carol Dokes foundation paper. It's my favorite. It's a little lighter weight than printer paper. And so it's easier to remove the papers when you're ready. I've not done that yet. And I have not added the 3 buttons for... Where's my board? We need a board! There we go. That's better. Okay, so this is my version. I tried to keep a similar palette, but I wanted it to be me. I think I'll find wooden buttons to go here. I used to have a vast button collection, but in one of our many, many moves, the box that all of my buttons were in, I kept them in glass jars, and it got dropped. And my heart shattered with the jars. And we spent a good amount of time trying to filter the glass from the buttons, but the glass was So it was just everywhere. It was everywhere. It was impossible without Teflon gloves or something. I don't even know what it would have taken to get the tiniest little glass fragments, slivery flat fragments off of the buttons. And anyways, we wound up throwing them away, which broke my heart. And I have not rebuilt my button collection since then. But anyway, so I'll have to go find some buttons. But I'm really happy with it. I think it's really sweet. And it'll just be a cute little piece. And I have my binding. They did a light binding on theirs, so I figured I would just not rock the boat too much. And that'll be my little binding. Yeah, so sweet. Kind of fussy cut the little mice into the border. So there's a lot of little mice. But you know what? They're sweet little sleeping mice. I love that fabric. So, super cute. That one was really fun. It was a totally random, it's not what I planned to do that day kind of project. But it was fun. Sometimes those little palette cleansers projects are just what you need. They're just what you need. Also, this is my sewing water bottle. I've been collecting stickers. They don't like to stick very well around the curves, but I've been collecting these stickers for years. This is from Nashville this year, actually, but it makes me so happy. Sit like a goblin, sew like the wind. Anyway, so what have I been working on other than, you know, all of those? But honestly, I feel like I did most of those by February, so I've really had a month. Well, no, I guess I pieced Brilliant Stars in March. That just happened more recently. But I had been working on, when I was in the piecing phase, before I got to the assembly of the top phase, I was mixing in, oh, fiddle. All right, well, cute. It's fine. I was working on the blocks for other quilts that I had prepped as well. So let's pull out the brain binder. And I am going to do, I found a stand, and it's not a great stand. It doesn't give me a great angle, but I think I can film, you know, at least sort of top down to kind of give you a little brain binder tour. But until then, we'll just carry on. So, oh, I forgot. I don't know if I've showed you guys this before. I found it today while I was pulling stuff and prepping. But this is just proof that I have always been a planner. So this was my plans. I must have been, I don't know, 10. And my grandma was helping. She had an embroidery machine. And so I was picking embroidered critters. These were all the options, and these were the primary color that showed up in, and did I want them? Yes, or did I not want them? No. And I have always been a planner, though perhaps I was a planner with far worse handwriting. And then trying to get a visual of how the color would, what colors were going to read more strongly in the quilt. Once I got it in the quilt, I think the ones with the stars and the blue line, we actually stitched. I don't know whatever happened to them. I never actually made the quilt. We got it started and then life happened, but that just gave me a giggle. Anyway, sorry, another little tangent here, but proof that I have always enjoyed a good organizational system and a roadmap of what I want to do and how I want to get there. So that's what the brain binder is birthed from, I guess you could say. So Derby House. This is a Minick and Simpson quilt. It is spectacular. Here are the beginnings of my palette page. I have a lot more fabrics pulled for it. And it's going to be a mix of the traditional prints and some more modern prints. And yeah, we'll kind of see how it plays out. I've only done the first month, but I'm ready to prep the second month. So let's look at these first blocks and you'll kind of get an idea of what they are. And it's super scrappy, so you'll notice, especially on this first one, it kind of glares out. I did not have enough of this fabric, so I just picked another, but it's super scrappy, so it's not going to matter. It's going to happen sometimes, and that's okay. That's one of the fun things about scrappy quilts, is once it's all together, that just becomes a little sparkle in that corner. And if I'd had enough of that fabric, would I have done it? No. But I feel like that's the way quilts are supposed to be made. Okay, so all of these little blocks go in the outer edges of this quilt. It's kind of done, it looks like it's pieced in rows, vertical rows. And so these all go in the farthest right and farthest left rows. And this one's a little bit brighter, a little bit more modern, fresh perhaps. We're just going off of color and vibes, and it'll all come together. And some are busy and some are a little clearer, and yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. Well, it already is a lot of fun. Don't think I know. So that's the first month, and I am approaching this as if I were receiving the blocks as a block of the month. So these were all coming from these two rows. And I believe the next month, month 2, if I remember right from looking at it, has more of those edge blocks, and then our first applique block. So I'm not rushing through this. I'm just going to enjoy the process. This is a really well laid out pattern. I have been so pleased. They give just little, you can see the fabrics are listed. So even though I'm going scrappy, I'm basing it off of, you know, the vibes of the original fabrics. And they just, it's just so clear, step-by-step instructions, very well-written pattern. I love a good, well-written pattern. Makes the process so much more enjoyable. Unlike Winter Sky, which was a terror from start to finish. And it was kind of like stitching in a hurricane. You just never knew how it was going to work or if you'd figured it out until you were in the midst of doing it. And I think I could do it much better next time around, because I wrote notes and I had to correct measurements and all sorts of things. So I think I have it figured out where I've basically rewritten it for myself. But it's so nice when you buy a pattern to not have to rewrite it to be able to make the quilt. That sounded kind of sassy, but maybe I feel a little sassy about it. I don't know. Okay, next one. I was in the mood to make progress on or finish quilts I had started last year or the year before for the last couple of months. So you'll see progress on those. I mean, obviously the finishes, but then I pulled out Grandmother's Pride, which is this quilt from a magazine. I'll tell you which one in a second. And it's from Quilt Sampler, so Better Homes and Gardens, fall, winter 2007, from the Stone Ages. Oh, here's a nice picture too. Oh, I'll show it with the palette. So I'm changing the palette just a little bit. I'm keeping really neutral backgrounds, but they're a little bit scrappy. And then clearly I spilled tea or coffee or something cute. And then these are my pieces. So introducing a little bit of teal instead of staying completely brown and red. And there's a reason for that. I don't have the swatch of it yet, but I have a couple bigger pieces of yardage that will come into the sashings and the borders and stuff. And then these colors will make a lot more sense. They're pretty as they are, but they're not quite like the picture. We're making it our own. Okay, so this is the vision of what it will be. I have not added the outer triangles to the blocks that I did this round because I don't have enough of this to do the whole quilt. So I'm on the hunt for something that matches as close as I can get to this. And then I want to do an equal distribution, you know, kind of half and half of this one, which I already have cut out half of it. And then the replacement solid. And then we'll just scatter them through and it'll be good. It'll be good. But we'll just kind of poke through these blocks. They're really, really pretty. Just warm, gentle fabrics. I really like them. They all have kind of a botanical, natural print to them that are just textures. I was trying to really keep into a certain energy. And I'm most of the way through the blocks. I think I have less than 10 to do before we're ready to put them in their setting fabrics and start, you know, making firmer decisions on sashings, which is exciting. If I could get these done and then find that fabric, that supplementary setting fabric, it would be really exciting to get this top assembled this year. But we'll see. We will see what I can find. Anyways, they're lovely. It takes 1 or 2 blocks for my brain to kind of wrap around an efficient assembly method. But then once I do, they go much more smoothly. I definitely recommend having an iron on hand, though don't use it on your arm. That's a no-no. My iron died, actually. I was using this really old Black & Decker foldable, like stowaway from I don't even know when. It had been dusty in my grandma's sewing room. And when I moved out, she gave it to me as my iron. And I've had others and kind of pulled that out when I needed it. But I'd been using it as my primary iron after my last iron died. And anyways, it finally kicked the bucket. And I bought a new one. And it works. It works a lot better than the other one does. It doesn't hurt anymore. But ouch! You're not supposed to iron your arm. Okay, so that's Grandmother's Pride. Next, I have been working on, and this doesn't have like a formal place in my book, but this comes out every once in a while. This is Meadow by McKillop, who is part of the Jen Kingwell collective. So designers who kind of design under Jen Kingwell's name. Or umbrella, rather, because Michelle is the designer of this project. Anyways, I have the center done. I've had it done for 6 years. It's a little embarrassing, but about 6 years ago, my cross-stitch bug kicked into high gear and took the place of all of my applique and embroidery time. And I'm working on rebalancing the scales with that slowly. So this is the layout. And the X's are blocks I have completed. So I almost have half of the blocks done. In fact, I think I do now. I just haven't updated that. And I figured since it's been a while, I'd just show you what I've done in general because they're fun. They're happy. I'm doing them all in black and white backgrounds with bright, happy capes and other joyful fabrics. It's just bold. And the flowers follow a rainbow around the outside. So we're getting an evolution of color here, which is pretty fun. So this is one of the more recent ones I've done, as is this one. These have all been done this year, 2026. And this one, I think, maybe not that one. I've done 3 or 4 though. And then this one is nearly done. It's almost there. And I tell you what, these leaves gave me a run for my money. And there are 2 with that style. The first one, I wound up just butting up, so folding a seam allowance under both sides, so the dark and the lighter, and then kind of nesting them together. And it was a pain in the butt, but it gives a nice flat finish. It's almost like ironing your seams open. And then that was such a pain in the butt that I didn't want to do it again. So this one I tried layering the orange on top, and so I only had to really do seam allowances for the overlay. But is bulkier, and I'm not convinced it was that much easier. And I think I like the nested together finish. Ow, pin, you monster. Okay. I like this finish better than I like this finish. So lessons learned, just a little personal preference there, but I'd not done shapes like that before. I've just done like traditional overlapping big ones, not these fiddly little skinny dudes. The smaller the shape, the more baffled I get when I look at it at first, which is just, speaks to my inexperience or rustiness with needle turn applique. But I'm excited to keep making progress. I was going to try to do a flower a week in January. That was like the big idea, a flower a week, and I would be done by, it was like the start of May. Well, that has not happened. Best laid plans, up in smoke. So we're just going to keep puttering and try to make consistent progress. And if I get the top done by the end of the year, we'll call it a job well done. We'll see how it goes. We're about to go into spring, summer, and then like fall is unwritten. So, but summer's going to be busy, and I'll get into that in a little bit when we get to that project. Let's go to the next one. So, in the interest of pulling out things I had worked on, but not recently, I pulled out the produce section again by Elizabeth Hartman. I love Elizabeth Hartman quilts. I will be starting 2 more this year, because I can, because I love them. And this one has no timeline. It's just doing it as I enjoy it. And where is the flat picture? Every pattern is a little different. Oh, it's on the back. So there you go. Happy fruit. And I'm doing each fruit a little different. Where do I put this? I'm gonna put it down there. So there's one of each. There's 4 blocks of each fruit. So 4 peaches, 4 bananas, 4 watermelons, etc., etc. And she has it laid out so that each block is the same, which is certainly simpler, but we like to complicate things here. So we've got scrappy fruit, And each one is different. And this one's extra different because I sewed the wrong block on the wrong cherry. Where's the other one? Where's his errata twin here? Okay, we left it. I left it because who cares? They're cherries. It's kind of cute. It's my little human moment. So we've got 4 cherries. 4 sets of cherries. And then funky looking peaches, which will look a lot more peachy once they're in a quilt. Right now they look kind of like, I don't know, bums or hearts that have flat edges. And some of them are a little blendy, but you know, we're using the fabric we have. So it is what it is. I wish they were all kind of that color, but it's okay. And that one's really cute. I like that one a lot. I don't love this one, but it's fine. Sometimes the ones, everything's falling. Sometimes the ones you don't like when you're making them become some of your favorite moments. So we're just going to ride the wave. That was good. I got 2 fruits done. I have 2 more cut out already. And I'm hoping, you know, by the end of spring that I'll get 5 more fruit done. So we'll see how that goes. I'll certainly get the 2 that are cut out done. There's no rules. Okay, next one. This is a new start since we met last. This is my Sunshine Yellow, also known as the Redford quilt. By then came June. And I am doing all yellows and golds. It's sunshiny. And you can see these little borders, the skinny little borders that go between the bear paws and the blocks. Those are going to be peaches, which I realize now I probably should have had pulled out of their box, but I just have the blocks I've completed. I think it'll be really cute. So it'll have little peach moments through everything. And these took a hot minute because, well, the blocks go really fast, but the initial setup to be able to make these was about 5 bajillion half square triangles, which you then square up. A very important step. We must square up our fabrics, our blocks, if we want accurate points and pretty, pretty bear paws. Anyways, now that all of those hundreds, literally hundreds of half square triangles are done though, it's pretty simple to just make a stack and run with it. You can see they're totally scrappy. The only rule is try not to repeat a fabric in a block. And so far so good. But they're just happy. And can't you just picture it with those little peachy, they're like 1/2-inch borders. They're super skinny. I think you cut the peaches 1 inch wide. So they're just going to be delicate little pops. It's going to be so happy. And I have about, oh no! Right before the last one. You know, it's fine. Fabric survives falling. Anyways, so that's been fun. I'm just doing, 5 here, 5 there. And I often, when I'm making my goals for the week, I'll say, okay, do 4 sunshine yellows. And I just lay them out and they're ready to go. And sometimes I'll lay them out and then I'll stick a ruler over them so they don't blow away because I often have my windows cracked. And then they sit there for a few days until I'm in the mood to actually piece them together. But it's just nice to have something ready. It's the advantage of having a studio. I've definitely had times where I'm, in fact, our first year we were married, we lived, I've probably told you this story before, but we lived in what I sort of lovingly call the tuna can, which was a 5th wheel. We lived in a 5th wheel for the first year we were married, on my in-laws' property. And we had no running water. And it was an extension cord from the garage up the hill into the woods where we were parked, where we'd built this like rock slab to live on. Anyways, it was a whole thing. I washed dishes with a hose, you know, but I sewed. I had to pull everything out, and I'd sew on our little table, and then I'd tuck everything back under the bench seats. And that was my sewing room, my studio. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have a room that I share with my husband's office, and it's really nice to be able to leave things out. Anyways. So that's everything I worked on as far as actual stitching. But you know me, I am the planner of planners. I love dreaming of new projects. It's a new year. I've finished 6 things. That gives space in my brain to start new things, maybe 6 more things by the end of summer. We will see, probably, because I have too many ideas. So the first idea is a definite, for sure, it's happening. And that is Strawberry Garden, which I was gifted this book by my friend. I think it was my birthday present last year from her. And so she and I, hi Jill, we are starting this in May. So we have already pulled our fabrics. I have not made my little sheet yet for it as far as the palette. Well, I've made the sheet, but I haven't started putting squares on it or fabric swatches on it yet. So I'll just show you here. I've got my little tub, my project tub. I have my first couple blocks cut out. And here is this warm, juicy palette. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be so much fun. And anybody who wants to join us is more than welcome. I don't know that we're sticking necessarily to a schedule. We haven't really talked about that other than like starting in May. I think we're gonna try to have everything cut out and in baggies by the start of May. You can see I'm in the process of doing so. That's gonna be so much fun. I love the colors, and I have given it a special official spot in the brain binder with our cover sheet, and this is where the palette page will go, and then here's our breakdown of all the things we have to do. I think that's everything. But yeah, I'm ready and I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. So this month it's really a lot of prep work, but you know, for those days when you don't really want to piece anything, you just want to cut things out, and it's going to be perfect. So that's a definite happening. The next definite happening is not quite in the binder yet, but it's like on the verge. So Cottontail is a new Elizabeth Hartman that I saw it and gasped out loud and had to have it. And I'm doing the big version because I want the full rainbow of blooms. But I love this tiny little yellow version too. What a cute little baby quilt that would be. It's so sweet. And I think about 2 fat quarters, and I had everything else I needed. So let me pop out of screen for just a moment. Sorry. Because I've already cut out all of the little blooms, but let's see here. Okay. It's like everything's almost in arm's reach, but not quite because my computer is on the table right now. So I had and have been tempted to use this for other things many times. I have 4 yards of this, and it calls for 4 1/4, 4 1/8, 4 1/4. She always allows extra. I'm fairly confident I'll be fine. If not, we'll figure it out. This is gonna be my binding because isn't that the sweetest? And then I have cut out all of my 3.5-inch squares for the flowers. So it's designed to be able to be used with a charm pack. I just went through my scraps for days to try to figure out the right array of colors. But these, let's see if I can get them stacked. I haven't put them away yet because it's easier to see in the fabrics because I only needed a 3.5-inch square. These are the blooms. It's gonna be so pretty. And yes, I know that some of these softer ones will ghost a little bit, but there are blocks like that even in the sample. So it's gonna be fine. And it's got a print, so it's gonna show better than you'd think. They're so cute. I'm so excited to get started. It's been really fun to play in these fresh, springy colors. And some of these scraps I don't have very much of, but I didn't need very much of. And it's really, really fun to use some of my older fabrics, like this one. I've had it for a long time. It's perfect for this project. Anyway, so I've got those all prepped and I'm ready to start. Okay, you stay there. Those can go back and stash now. These are my greens. We went with a yellow green. So I always feel like, you know, as the grass starts coming alive, everything's very, very yellow. It's very fresh and it kind of deepens as the leaves and grass mature. So we're going with that fresh green, and it's going to pop really nicely against my background. I have not cut those out yet, so I'm not going to put them away. And then we've got bunnies. Now, I did not have enough to do matching bunnies, so we're just going to go pair by pair, and each pair will be a different brown. And then this is their tails. It's going to be so cute. I'm so excited. And I know I won't get this done this season just because my quilting is as seasonal as my stitching is. And, you know, so when June gets here, I will just tuck these away. But I would like to have it all cut out and prepped again by the end of June so that it's easy to pick up again and just piece if the whim hits. But isn't it sweet? I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I haven't done a spring palleted quilt in a while. So this will be fun. My husband won't care at all. It's not his thing. But that's okay. It's not his hobby. Okay, so we'll tuck those away. So that is a for sure happening. It's actively happening. So it's very mid-process right now. Okay. Let me get back to my list. I can tuck the brain binder back here because sorry, it's like going to get chaos behind me as I just dump things there. But, what's that one? Oh, yes. Okay, the other thing that's for sure happening right now, actively in the process, is a wool applique piecing project. And none of these at this point have any timeline. So it's just do it while I enjoy it, tuck it away, pull it out. But these are very simple little applique blocks. Other than a few stems and details that are, you know, backstitched or stem stitched, they're simple. So they'll be nice, cozy, easy wool applique. And I have pulled, that is our pattern. I have pulled a palette of warm, cozy, kind of muted. And I did not have, I bought a fat quarter and I was like, that will be so cool. And then I found one more fat quarter, but I needed like 3/4 of yard or something like that. So we're just going to half and half it. We're gonna have different background blocks. It's gonna be great. Make it our own. And I've pulled wool and cottons for the first 2 blocks, but I have not cut them out yet. So that's gonna be fun to just kind of putter away at. This is a pattern I got for free, I think it was, at a shop south of Seattle when I went in, and they were having some kind of, I don't remember. I'm sure I talked about it at the time because I was doing floss tubes newly. You guys will probably remember better than I do. But anyways, it's exciting to give it a start because I've had an idea of what it would look like fat quarter tucked into it for the last 2.5 years. And yeah, it's kind of exciting to get that started. So that's really fun. My other wool that I have started is, so I was going to do truffle duffel when I finish my winter wool, which we're not talking about. We will at some point. It's not in timeout. It's just snail trailing along. Like, it is the slowest. It's so hard to stitch out of season, my friends. It is. I have like half of the last row in my wool applique to do. And if I just worked on it every day in the morning for an hour, I would have it done in like a week. But I cannot find joy in that. Out of season. I don't know. So I pull it out and I do an hour of stitching here and there, and it gets some work. And by the end of the year, it'll be on my wall and it'll be grand. But right now we're not talking about it because it's winter. And so I was going to do truffle duffel once I finish that, right? All of that is to say. But I decided it's been a hot minute since I did a Sue Spargo, which is applique, needle turn applique, wool applique, and then embellishment, embroidery, and they're fantastic and fabulous and gorgeous, and I love them all. But truffle duffel is big as far as the workload of the project. And when you do her projects, you need her creative stitching book in conjunction with your pattern book. And she has all, you know, the how-tos and the what-fors, and it's a fabulous resource. But because it's been, I mean, probably about 4 years since maybe 5. No, 4. Because I was still doing applique while I was working. In fact, I did samples for the store I worked at. So it's been about 4 years this summer since I really actively did any kind of fancy-pantsy wool applique. So I decided to find a smaller project to dip the toes back in the waters. And then once this is done, I'll feel a lot more comfortable jumping into a bigger scale project. So this is Rooted, which finishes 20 by 23. I mean, it's the perfect little wall quilt and I love it. These funky, you know, flora and fauna, botanical kind of guys, and only 9 blocks, and it's a bite size too, so that's going to be great. I've got my book pulled out, though I have not picked any of the embellishment fabrics yet. I have pulled, let's see if I can show this without spilling it everywhere. Sort of. Board. There it is. Tuck it in weird places while I chatter. Okay, so here is the color concept for the first one, which is, oh, do not fall, you little monster, which is that top block. You can hopefully tell. This, I guess, would be down here with these guys because those are little blooms. So I need to pull out my fusible and trace and cut, and yeah, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be really fun. And she lists, so she tells you exactly what wool to use and what threads to use in conjunction with that. because I'm pulling from my wool in stash, I will choose my embellishment threads as I go, because I have always believed that you should rather, hand-dyed wool, just like hand-dyed fabric or floss, can have dye lots. It can change. And so even if it's close, sometimes your thread will not match what you're working with, the called for thread, right? And so I always choose my threads based on the wool I'm using, not based on the pattern's requirements. Does that make sense? I hope so. Anyways, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. We'll see how it goes, mostly because we'll see how much time I give it. I think I'll give it time, because I already have the other 7 blocks. The wool is cut out, and then I have the background cottons that are kind of like floating accents. Those are already pulled. So I mean, I'm committed. We're in this. It's happening. I would love to come back to you next month, because surprise, my friends, I'm not going to make you wait 2 months for my next video this time. It was too long between the last ones. So we're going to meet again in May, you know, middle, end of May. We'll give it some time so I can get some stuff done. But yeah, that'll be fun. We'll meet again before summer comes. So we'll see if I can't get that block at least done. And if I could do a block a month, you know, it'd be done by the end of the year pretty much. So that'd be exciting. And I can totally see it on my wall in my studio, though it'll probably be a different wall in a different studio by the time it's done. Anyways. Okay, so those are the totally happenings. And now we get into the happy planny dreams. So I hope you'll stick with me, because this is fun. And if you don't like it, I get it. It's fine. Because some of these things will definitely happen, and some of these things will, you know, be pushed off till next year or whatever. But I feel like this space is where we dream and hope and we postulate, and yeah, so I have a lot of that in my noggin, and I want to share it with you. So the first big happy news, and I feel fairly safe saying this at this point, my sister is expecting in late July. So we have a baby quilt on the horizon, and baby boy. I know his name, but I can't tell. It's a secret. But it's very cute. And so I've been on the hunt for the perfect baby boy quilt. And I don't know that this is the one I will do, but it's an idea. So I have this baby cactus quilt, and it's done with fusible applique. So I can, you know, do the edge stitching on my machine, and that could be really cute. I have also looked at, Elizabeth Hartman has one of space astronaut cats, and they're like floating in the stars, and that one's really cute too. I think that would be a lot of fun. I don't know. We'll see. I'm on the hunt for the perfect baby boy quilt. So we'll see. But this is in the running. I think it's cute. I've had it for oodles of years. And if I could find the gray in my stash, I know I've got the greens and stuff for the pots and succulents. But it could be really cute. And I mean, he's going to be a little desert baby, so he'll be born in the heart of summer. So cacti would be appropriate. But I mean, space cats. I don't know. Or dinosaurs. Though I might save the dinosaurs for Saoirse, because his big sister, because she really loves dinosaurs. And again, the Elizabeth Hartman dinosaur quilt would be so dang cute in like jewel tone little girl colors. And she would love that. So maybe that needs to be like hers at some point and he gets cacti or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Yes. So maybe that, but definitely something, in this year. So I finished Brilliant Stars and I instantly went on the hunt. I was like, okay, I'm loving this kind of revamping of traditional quilts into something that just screams me and my brain and my happiness. And so I went on the hunt looking for quilts that I could do something similar, but that would be a challenge, because I definitely want a challenge. And you guys, I dove into the deep end of the ocean. But look at this quilt. I have seen this, on the interwebs many times, and it's scrap friendly, which is excellent. It's got a mountain of scraps that need to be used, and who's buying fabric? We don't have to. I mean, okay, that's not fair. I buy fabric every time I can. Every time I can afford to, and I find something magical, I buy it. But I love this. I think it's spectacular. All I have to do is decide basically what my dominant color will be through the borders. They're still scrappy. Each one's different, but it's definitely one of the anchors. And then we move from there. So I have to pick a palette and start pulling scraps and having oodles of fun with that. But this will be a start at some point this year. And I'm going to have so much fun dreaming about it, because this is happening. Love that. And since I was on Laundry Basket Quilts, I also picked up this one because I've also admired it. I love the border and I love the house quilt. I think it's so cozy, and I want to do this one out of 1800s prints specifically, but as you can see from my notes here, rich feminine florals. So like purples and greens and, all the prints I didn't use in Baker's Dozen that are hiding in my stash because they were too girly. They're going to just vomit all over this. It's going to be fantastic. It'll be so pretty, and I'm really excited. I think it'll be really good. So I already have actually a fabric pull for that. I just don't have it in its own little bucket and organized yet. Because I've kind of been flirting with that idea since the stash kind of got divided to make Baker's Dozen. And I'll pull some of those Baker's Dozen pieces into this too, because I love them and they're gorgeous. But that's going to be fun. So I can see that happening imminently because I'm pretty much there. Stars Upon Stars will probably be later in the summer. Maybe it'll be my birthday start. That gives me a few months to figure it out. Figure it out. But I'm very excited. I think they're both gorgeous. I was also rifling through When the Cold Wind Blows, which is a book that comes from the brains of Blackbird Designs. If you're a cross stitcher, you'll know. And I was just looking for that, kind of epic challenge, fun quilt that I wanted to do. And I came across this one, and it is not what I was looking for. I was looking for Stars Upon Stars, like something on that level, more of a challenge. But I saw this one and I vocally exclaimed. And so here it is. It's called Trick or Treat, and they're trick or treat baskets. How fantastic is that? All the oranges and golds and browns with those black, almost fleur-de-lis kind of shapes in the edges. And then if I go to this page, I have to hide the the pattern info, but there are little 9 patches. Oh my gosh, and little empty spots. It just gives interest and movement, and I mean, can we expect anything less from Blackbird Designs? But yum! There are 300 baskets. But if I were to do a basket a day, I'd put quotes on there because listen to my next part. A basket a day with 65 days of wiggle room, I could have all the baskets done by next springish, and then I could get it assembled by next autumn. And who's anybody kidding? This quilt is too gorgeous to hide away. Seasonally, it would stay out forever and ever. But it is kind of autumn Halloween-y themed, vibed based on palette without ever screaming, "This is Halloween." This is Halloween. Anyways, I'm starting this. I just found it this morning. This is all brand new concept. But I'm getting on it. It's going to be fun. They're not big. So, and it could be a really great way for me to get in the habit of, stitch a basket. It would probably, if I have it all cut out and prepped, it'd probably take half an hour to stitch a little basket and then go into my cross stitch. And that could be, totally doable. She says, wishfully. Enthusiastically, delusionally, perhaps. We'll see. Either way, it's gonna be fun. Even if it takes me 2 years to do it, which would be fine, like plain milk. But it'll be gorgeous. I love it. I swear I've looked through that book before, and that did not exist in there. Now it does. I'm very enchanted by it. Yeah, trick or treat, it's happening. I guess that wasn't a maybe plan. That should have been higher in the stack. Okay, now we get into the no, this one's not a maybe plan either. This one's happening, but I just don't know when I'm starting it because it's still in concept. So there is this thing on the interwebs, and these quilts are called night garden quilts or midnight garden quilts or something like that. And they're paper pieced, so foundation pieced, flowers and nighttime critters and moons and stars, and they all have inky indigo backgrounds with bright, gorgeous colors as contrast. And I'm obsessed. I'll pop in a couple pictures of what other people have done. And I have been, over the last couple months, acquiring this and then also going on Etsy and finding other, like I found a fox and I found a bunny and I found a moon and an owl and I found the barn owl. Yeah, it's still in the like brain thought phase. I haven't like put anything on paper or created a layout or chosen what blocks I'm going to use exclusively yet, but it's in the works. It's percolating. Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I don't know when I'll start it. As soon as I can bring it into some form of reality, I will. But I need to do like a fabric pull. I need to see what level of deep inky blues I have in my stash. I did an indigo quilt a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, I guess it was. So I'm pretty sure I've depleted a large amount of what would have been available. But we'll play. We'll see what I've got. I'm not going to be afraid of dipping into the batiks and stuff like that too. It's just going to be a full mashup of gorgeousness, and I'm very excited. I think they're fantastic. And such a fun, creative way to say, here's a bunch of different blocks I've sourced from different places. Now I'm going to create my own version of this. And, some of them are really busy. Some of them are a little more organized, but they're all works of art. And I'm excited for that. I think that's tickling a bone that I've been looking for. because it's really fun to play with colors and just follow step by step and just change out the colors. But this is really creating my own image. So I'm excited. And I don't think this isn't going to be like a king size quilt or anything. This is going to be something you toss over a couch or a chair or something, hang on the wall. No, it's not going to be small enough. You'd have to have a big wall, but you know, probably like 60 by 70 lap size. Am I gesturing enough? I don't know. Let's move on. It's because I'm thinking when I get really like in my head about things, I gesture more. Okay, so I've got three more ideas. Okay, so I got this book for Christmas. I haven't seen it yet because I've been a stranger, but it is spectacular. Adidas Sitar of laundry basket quilts. Oh my gosh, it just left my mind. And I adore the cover quilt. It's not happening this year, maybe next year, but it's spectacular. What might happen this year, I can show both of these pages, is this one. Now, doesn't this remind you a little bit of my green and orange one that was hanging on the wall in autumn? It's not the same pattern, but it's a similar concept with the checkerboards, and then you've got a dividing border and the 9 patch. They've added in a star effect into the border, and they've basically changed the sashing element of it, but very, very similar. I was going to try to recreate my green one because I cannot for the life of me. I mean, I made the quilt 20 years ago. So, and it was from a magazine, and I probably got rid of the pattern because I'd done it. I don't typically do quilts multiple times. I'm no longer as flip about just throwing my patterns out though, or giving them away or donating them. I hold on to a lot more things than I used to, but because you never know. But I love this. I think it's gorgeous. And I have a vision of a bit bolder on the stars, perhaps. Not pink, green or brown or blue. I need to find a good border piece to kind of like pull colors from. But that's gorgeous. That's spectacular. Wow. I love it. Thousands of squares. Give it to me. The more complicated, the better. I just love it. And scrap friendly, other than the sashing and the border, which I would want to match. But she used a batik for that gray in the sashing. So maybe I have something. It could happen. It could be. Anyways, this is a gorgeous book. I highly recommend. I want to do so many of them. I almost said I was going to start this one, which is stunning. But then I found Stars Upon Stars. So this one got demoted for another day. It'll happen someday because it's gorgeous too. There's so many good books, so many good quilts in that book. Okay, I'm hunting for my next fully machine-pieced Jan Kingwell because I have Caution Curves Ahead going. I'm still flirting with the idea of starting green tea and sweet beans, which I always say green beans and sweet tea. So I had to think about that for a second, so I said it correctly. I have fabric pulled for the backgrounds and stuff. I just haven't settled into that as a for sure thing. So it's still a maybe. It could happen. But I also had the idea of starting a different one for my birthday that includes applique and other things. So we'll see. But I'm looking to start a machine pieced one because I did Wensleydale last year, which I can show you if you haven't watched my other videos. This is the concept. Mine's a little different, but I adore it. And you'll see it at some point soon because I'm going to quilt that sucker. But I've been looking through quilt recipes, and this is one of the potential this is the one I loved, but it would require templates. That's why I didn't pick that one. Okay, so this one's probably not happening, but because I think templates would be worthwhile on this one. The shapes are funky dunky, and you cut them repetitively enough that, you know, a plastic template, as great as that is, it's just not going to be as durable as an acrylic template. Anyways, Points Addis, I think is what it's called. Spectacular. I love it. Probably not going to be the one, but for Christmas. I got the new one. I'm so excited. And I have 2 tabbed as potential for this year, and all the others tabbed for it's going to happen at some point. And I don't know if you've seen this book yet, but it is so dang good. Should we do just a real quick glance at the different patterns? So Hazel, which is the cover quilt. I love it. And what you don't see in any of the pictures is that this is actually a very fine stripe. It's so good. At some point in between all of her patterns, she shows a close-up of that. And it's gorgeous. Trentham, which I adore, but it's just a little too close to Wensleydale for me to pick that up this year. But yum. It's like diamond log cabins. Fantastic. This one I love, but I want to do it in solids like she did because it's so calm. It's beautiful. Beautiful. But that actually requires some hand applique. So it's demoted this year. Okay, this is one of the ones that is a potential because I got the templates with the book. That is fantastic. I am flirting with the idea of, so that there's a dominant color, the red, right? And I mean, it goes into other shades, you know, almost pinks, more tomato reds, burgundies, right? And with backgrounds that are fantastic. I love this version, and I think that's why I'm hesitating to change it, because I had initially thought, okay, I've been doing color quilts and trying to make a full rainbow of color quilts, single color quilts, kind of like Sunshine Yellow, right, where it's all golds and yellows and stuff with low volumes. And I initially thought, oh, this would be gorgeous in aquas and teals, and it still would be, or purples for the dominant color and then backgrounds. But I haven't completely wrapped my head around that because I still really like what she did. So do I want to be a copy girl or break the mold? I don't know. I haven't decided because I love hers so much. The other candidate is 66, which is just so good. It's like little boxes of candy, little boxes of chocolates. So good. Everywhere you look is interesting. But this is all rotary cut. It doesn't require any templates. I've looked through it and it's totally doable without anything extra. So that's a really strong candidate for being my machine pieced Jen Kingwell of the year. I love this one and we'll probably do it in pinks. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. I love that. But not this year. And then she's got, just to finish off our tour here, she's got this gorgeous runner, which would be so tempting to turn into an entire quilt. Because isn't it calming? I love those beachy sands and aquas and navies. Ugh, this one. I love this quilt. This one's called Upgrade. That's so cool. Love, love, love. And then she does a bunch of pillows, which will just show the main pillow page, because that's all, it's just close-ups of all of these. Oh, they're so cool. Someday, when I'm a grown-up, I will have interesting, funky, cool, handmade pillows all over my house. Yes. All right, so that's fun. I love it all. But that 66, it's a strong candidate because I just don't think I have my concept firmly enough in my head to dive into this one, which would be a big project, really. But it's not going anywhere. I'm getting really warm. My face is getting rosy. All my windows are closed because it's still snowing. But I closed the door just to control the sound a little bit more in here. And apparently I'm just enthusiastic enough to raise my blood pressure and be warm. Okay, before I let you guys go, I told you it was going to be a feature length. I can gab and gab and gab when it comes to quilts. So my last two ideas. I finished my rainbow quilt. I am on the hunt for another quilt that can be a rainbow quilt. And we're talking saturated, bright, bold, full on rainbow, right? And I have a couple of patterns that I looked at last year, like the pickled orange peel would be super cool. I also have kind of adapted my concept for it. I want it to be a wheel of color, kind of like Meadow did, but more. So I've drawn this little note of concept. So that's 8 different color categories that would go around chromatically. But I want to apply that to a pattern. So I don't know if I kept those papers anywhere convenient. Here it is, pickled orange peel. It's right here. Okay. Since I'm talking about this, I wasn't actually going to talk about this. And then here we are. So this is the black and white printout of my pattern. You can see what it is. It has a center point, which makes it pretty easy to divide into those 8 categories, right? Pie wedges. And I had made this concept last year when I was trying to give this one a start. I'd kind of settled on the jungle, but then I did not have the fabric that was in my brain in stash. And I did not have the money to go, drop $100 on fabric. So I just sidelined it. But as I was thinking this rainbow concept, I almost created it in my concept picture here, is this center point and then wedges of colors, but totally scrappy, interesting. I don't know. I think this could be a really, really cool thing. But I also have this Kingwell pattern, and I love the idea of the contrast with the black and whites. I've been collecting black and whites for years, thinking I would do squares with black and white squares with rainbow circles, like super bright rainbow circles. And that's the whole quilt, like just an array of fantastic colors. So I have a lot of black and whites, And I could see this one does also have a center point that you could break up, and the points become the color flow through the black and white. That could be really cool too. So I have both of these out with my little very fancy formal concept drawing here. Anyways, by summer, I would love to have chosen a rainbow quilt, because I want to always, as much as I'm super loving like browns and rust and deep greens and teals and, you know, all those juicy, oh gosh, they're so good. They just make my brain settle into this happy little bubble of cozy colors. And as much as I'm loving those, I still love in-your-face rainbows. So so I need to have a rainbow quilt going at all times, even if it's not something that happens quickly. Just something that when I need that rainbow moment, I can pull it out and do a block, you know? So that's a thing. That's in my brain. And then I alluded to this project in my floss tube earlier this week, that I was thinking about doing, you know, more sewing themed projects to hang in my studio. And this is a book I've had for years. I was going to make it with my grandmother. She had one too. And it never happened. And then that made me sad. So I kind of didn't come back to it. But I'm getting to a place where I think I'm ready. And so now I'm flirting with the idea of doing kind of more, I don't know if I want to say modern. I don't think that's the right term, but like brighter, clearer, fresher colors, which I have a lot of in my studio. It's kind of my rainbow room. I'm allowed to have it as bright as I want to in here. It's not my husband's favorite thing, so my space is my space, right? But I also have a collection of Japanese taupes, which I've got. I actually have a swatch card. This was for a project that is sidelined because I cannot figure out how to print off the patterns without a CD-ROM. So yay for technology advancements and not having a CD-ROM in my entire house. Anyways, I don't know if I want to keep it kind of more as pictured, those dusty, gorgeous, muted colors, or do I want to brighten it up and kind of customize it a bit more? So concept, maybes, maybe not this year, maybe next year, but it's like in my brain enough that I felt like talking about it. Okay, and then I have 3 pieces of haul because they were cute. When I was trying to decide on my tiny quilt, I also picked up Critter and Clover, which is so cute. Honestly, the frog and the owl are my favorites. That's a bajillion drizzle stitches. We're not excited about that. I love the robin. I kind of love the raccoon. I like them all. Who am I kidding? It's so cute. It's adorable. And another small one. So maybe next year, if I got rooted done, maybe I would do this and then go to the mushrooms. I don't know. We'll see how my heart feels. I did pick up the Big Woods book. I started this as a block of the month, and then life happened and I couldn't continue it. And so my project went on hold until I could purchase the pattern. So that is out and available. Takes a little while to ship, but you know, it's coming from Australia, so it's all good. Shipping is hard these days, especially internationally. So anyways, I'm very excited to have this. I'm not ready to pick the project up again yet, but I can when I'm ready to. So that kit is no longer a woeful waste of space. It is just a kit now. And then last but not least, weekend sling bag. Is that not the cutest? I'm not usually big into purses and bags anymore. I went through a phase, a serious phase of making bags and totes and stuff, and they're really fun. But I found that I don't use them very often. So I kind of fell off buying patterns and stuff. But this just feels like the perfect little summer bag that you could throw over your shoulder or go on vacation, and you know, you've got a pocket for your phone, and you could tuck a book in there. It finishes 7 by 10 by 2.25. So cute. I don't know. I like it. I don't know when I'll make it, but I think it's adorable. So that's fun. Okay, exhausted now? Are you like, whoa, girl, you're on the crazy train? Yes, yes, I am. A very happy, creative, crazy train. Yeah. So I'm going to keep plugging away at the in progress ribs. I'm going to get diving into those bunnies, and probably, since I'm going to come to you mid to late May next for Quilting Bee, I will have started Strawberry Garden with my friend. Hopefully I will have decided on a baby quilt by then. Otherwise he will be 1 before he gets one. Let's see. Oh, I will start Trick or Treat. So hopefully I'll have a collection of tiny little baskets to show you. And then we'll just keep plugging away, you know, here and there at Grandmother's Pride, My Sunshine Yellow, the Meadow. Yeah, it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. I'm very happy when I talk about quilting. Oh, I'm so warm. I'm going to crack a window. My face, oh, it's fine. Doesn't matter. Also, do you like my sweatshirt? The vibe is in shambles. Dinosaurs and sunglasses. That's a bad day for the dinosaurs. I shouldn't laugh. It's a somber event, but also funny. So, yes, that's all I have for you. Thank you for hanging out with me, for coming back, for waiting for so very long. I know it's been eons. But yeah, thank you for being here. Feels good to get back into this. I've definitely missed it. Even though I couldn't find it in me to do a video for a while, I missed it. I miss chatting at you, chatting with you, you know, sharing things. There's something about, you know, floss tube is funny. Quilting bees are funny because I'm really in a room by myself with my dog, who's unconscious, by the way, talking to the void, hoping somebody will be interested. But I know you guys are out there, and you know, we've exchanged moments through comments and emails, and I just feel, I feel you guys out there. I don't know if that sounds totally weird, but I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. I feel like I'm talking to my friends. And so, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad to be back. And hopefully things will be more regular, at least for the next 6 months until we move. Which there's no update on that other than that we're working towards it. It will be a really good thing. So take care, my friends. I hope you're stitching. I hope you're quilting if you're a quilter. And, you know, let me know what you're working on. How are you doing? You hanging in there? I'll see you in May. All right. Happy stitching. Where's the button? There it is.